NISMO Zach here from Speedgate Motorsports, and we're back on another Forza Motorsports 8 stream. Continuing off of the first debut Twitch stream we had, Graham and Mercury are waiting in the lobby now, so we're setting up the race and figuring out which cars we're going to use. 775, is that what you said?
775, yeah.
Alright.
Hockenheim or Laguna Seca, Watkins Glen.
We do Hockenheim or Watkins Glen. I think
Right.
Watkins Glen is good. Watkins Glen is a very fun, unique, and challenging track with plenty of opportunities for passing, but narrow windows once they come into play. We have the cars set up quite competitively, so it should be a pretty interesting race between all three of us.
But you guys should have corners.
Tire wear at 3.5 is pretty much our standard now. Throwing on a set of softs and prep for the race and bringing the fuel load to something reasonable. I typically like to do a lap or two over the halfway mark just to give myself enough space in case I need to go for an extra lap out. Ready when you guys are.
Why am I in the front?
Because you're the fastest.
Guarantee I'm not. I may have the fastest car, but as the S2K.
Got a lightning launch off the line as we shoot ahead Graham and Mercury in the maxed out supercharged S2000 with the Spoon Sports livery. Watkins Glen is a very challenging track with high-speed sweeping corners and technical changing radiuses. So if you don't have a good set on your shoulders, a good head on your shoulders, you are not going to make it through this track in one piece. Graham is on this S2000 split bumper in his GT350 as we go through the first chicane. The rear steps out. The rear definitely needs to be loosened up a little bit too tight back there. I need to adjust the suspension and immediately start experiencing some understeer. Once again, another result of a poor tune on my part as the front struggles to stay in place, and Graham easily comes by in the GT350.
Never get to drive this car, so I'm not used to it.
The S2000 clearly pulling on the top end, but Graham's car just diving deep into the brakes and then eating the braking zone. Which car is it? Oh, nice.
I bought it a long time ago, and I never played this game. And I knew she should do this.
It's a good game. And across the line with about 9/10 closing the gap down the straightaway with the S2000, but entering the braking zone and just struggling to put the power down without getting sideways as Graham is able to put the downforce down and pull it back.
250 for the full. It's like 250 for the full G920 setup.
Coming through turn 1 with a good bit of speed, and then into turn 2 just getting way too wide and hitting the grass, throwing everything off balance, getting the rear end all over the place and crashing into the wall.
Turn the wheel and pedals alone would be like 350, 400 brand new.
Exactly.
Comes with a shifter and a stand.
I know, I need a shifter.
It's not even a stand, it's a whole frame.
Yeah. Like it's got the setup for the wheel, it's got the shifter handle, like, mount. I was gonna say the only thing that's gonna suck is the fact that I have an office chair with wheels, but I'm on a carpet floor. Should be fine.
Wait, I'm sorry, are you saying that you have a wheel and stand?
No, but there is.
Got one.
It's got a wheel, pedals, 9, like the shifter. Like it's just
Yeah.
forward and back.
Got it. Okay.
And it's got like the full stand and everything. Shifter mounts.
Nice.
All of that for $250. So I'm probably gonna go buy that, whatever the hell it is.
I end up holding second place for the majority of this race as Mercury maintains anywhere between a 9 to about 11 second gap, and then Graham maintaining about a 2.5 to 3.5 second gap throughout the race, as well as they gradually just wear down the car. It gets sloppier, definitely need to retune it, but this S2000 platform is quite good. It is very consistent. If you mess with the suspension the wrong way, it'll definitely cost you. So here, getting from lap 3 out of 4 and then going around the track again, I can see Graham's car as I'm chasing almost his ghost around the track, trying to take these lines as good as I can as I'm trying to keep that front end from understeering. The mid-engine is really good in this car, but it can get sideways when you're compensating the throttle for the understeer, and you can just really overpower the rear, especially with the supercharger setup. So coming out of lap 4 and across the line into lap 5, I do see Graham go into the pits, so I decide to stay out, building up as much of a gap as possible to try and take advantage of the current race environment. Mercury still trailing behind now by 24 to 25 seconds. He must have wiped out at some point, but I'm holding through on the 5th lap, and then my gas tank now runs down to 0 laps and I'm forced to pit no matter what I do. So I'm hoping the gap I built up was enough, but I also have only about 14 seconds between Graham and I, 15 seconds between him and I. So I'm just going to get through the pits and probably swap out for soft tires now, get into something a little bit grippier, and get that drivetrain health fixed and prep for the next stint. I clearly didn't have the gap I needed to keep Graham behind me as I went through the pits, so now it's just trying to keep the gap as big as possible between Mercury and I while he's stuck on the track, and while Graham is able to speed away with over an 8.5 second gap between him and I.
Drive. See a cracked windshield, that's probably why. Looking at the stream, at least fuel.
Fast forwarding now as I continue to hold second place, end up going through lap 6 quite cleanly, but just not being able to close the gap between Graham and I as he holds a 9 to 11 second gap, just depending on where we're at in the track. The car just not being as composed as I need it to be to keep up with the Mustang, as the Mustang is, the way he's built it, is built more for just grip and downforce compared to this S2000, which is more of a larger circuit car. Believe it or not, the way I have it set up is to be able to handle these larger sweeping fast-paced fast-speed corners, but even then it's not quite enough to keep it as composed. I think I need to loosen up the suspension. And running through lap 7 as we come into lap 8, still don't have the gap we need as Graham is able to go 13 seconds now, but we are putting a large gap on Mercury as we hit the 33 second mark. And then coming around this bend here, the car just giving it too much power starts to get sideways straight into the grass, and then rubbing up against the driver's side on the guardrail as I struggle to get it back into play. God, this thing's a nightmare. Not meant to be this high class at this like build.
It's unnatural, yes.
Dog width, yeah.
Too flat. Alright, let's race against the time.
Switching up pace now as we get into something a bit quicker. I opt for the McLaren P1 as the challenge for this race is to build something up to performance index 900. So I go into the options I have here and immediately work on tires and then see what's left to get into 900, going with the front splitter at the end. Prepping wheels and tires next as I throw on a set of softs and then get the fuel set. We're going to go ahead and bring the tire wear down to 3 instead of 3.5, just so we all have a little bit more leeway, and I give myself some extra room. I then decide to go with a set of mediums just in case I use the tires a bit too much and I need the extra room to get by. Starting off at the top of the grid at Le Mans, we're getting ready to race and you can see the AMG GT Black Series behind me. A lightning launch off the line as I dust Mercury and Graham, immediately leaving them behind with a 1.5 to half second gap depending on which car you're looking at. Screaming into the first turn, they immediately close the gap, or at least Mercury does. And then coming in on my rear right, Mercury gets close, overshoots it, and I'm able to get a clear exit, putting at least a 1 to 1.5 second gap on both drivers now.
I might need some third person action. It's a little disorienting.
Cresting about 218 with Graham right behind me, I way overshoot the braking zone and end up locking up the fronts as I'm not running ABS, sending me into the sand pit and giving Graham the space he needs to make a clean pass, as well as Mercury in the AMG GT Black Series. Once we get on the straightaway, I'm just watching them battle out as they pull away. As soon as I get into the chicane, you can see me close the gap in the braking zone, but back onto the straightaway, they're clearly pulling, and I'm just playing catch up as much as possible every time I enter the braking zone. Big lockup, trying to avoid crashing into Graham and overshooting that. Mercury into the sand and making the pass for second place as he recovers, but we're going to see that AMG GT Black Series here back on my side in just a moment, as you can watch the deficit get lower and lower between Mercury and I while he catches up on the straightaway. Graham's gap just staying at a steady 2 seconds as the McLaren does everything it can to shoot down the back straight with no ability to close the gap in front, even in the braking zone, doing everything I can to keep the front end in place and the rear from spinning out. I should have definitely picked soft tires at this point. I'm realizing now that the mediums were an oversight and I probably got too much tire for this race here. So should have gone with something that had a bit better tread that probably would have gave me a bit more grip, and I'm seeing, you know, the penalty. I mean, I'm seeing the consequence of that now as I watch the gap build between Graham and I, and Mercury steadily closing the gap throughout each straightaway. But as you can see, I'm able to slowly build a small gap between him and I throughout each corner set.
Oh no. I was not making that. I made a fucking second violation. Yep.
Of course, that one fuck up. Oh man, I just burst. That one screw up gets me in the beginning.
I put on a grippiest, widest tires I could find, and it's still not enough. Not when your horsepower is a third of your car's body weight. One more, because I think it's about.
So watching the time here, you can actually see that Graham fully stops. His car is so fast, he decides to pull over, and then, as you can see, I'm still on the throttle. He is able to pull away. I let off just a little bit, and my mistake is pulling off the throttle and watching Mercury fly by taking second place, which probably wouldn't have changed anything if I pulled off the throttle regardless, as both cars pull away down the straightaway and we shoot into the braking zone. Trying to avoid Graham's bumper once again, but this time I'm not going to go wide. I'm going to stay behind him. If I hit him, I hit him. If I don't, I don't. I get within about a few inches of his bumper. We all get through the corner cleanly, but next thing I know, I am stuck in the back of the pack, rowing through 5th into 6th gear, just not having the speed I need to keep up with the guys up front. Fast forwarding now, working my way into the pit. I'm going to go ahead and upgrade to soft tires now and take care of the fuel, any drivetrain issues, and get out the pit as soon as possible. We regroup outside the pits to keep things competitive. Mercury's Black Series immediately gets a bit sideways. Well, I wanted to earn my pass.
I don't think that would have happened, brother.
I was on mediums because I thought
Oh,
I
really?
was tired. I imagine Mercury tapping outside the apex.
Alright. Gloves are off there.
I think y'all are going to pass me here. Mercedes closes the gap. Graham takes off the theoretical gloves as he tries to come up on the straightaway, closing ever so slightly. Feeling the pressure of the Mercedes as I completely overshoot the braking zone, diving way too deep, locking up the fronts, tapping them to keep the car on track, taking out a couple cones in the process, flying over the inner apexes. The Mercedes battles side by side to keep traction. It slowly passes away, but it appears as I go into 6th gear, the car just keeps pulling and pulling as Graham closes the gap down to a half second.
I just give it a run this driver. I just eyeball it. Just the yellow zone, and then I separate and I to the left zone. I usually end up doing that right drive. Yeah, that's so bumpy. Scares me though.
The rear wing on that P1 is so cool. When it flips at high speed.
Keeping pretty even in the pack as Mercury comes into this corner.
I'm always overgoing on this turn.
Completely overshooting the braking zone, tapping into this sand and grass, and then immediately going for the pass on the left. And you can see as the Mercedes just has all the power it needs to outrun my McLaren, even though I had all the momentum I needed to pass him on the left side. I start using all the grip I have on the car to my advantage as I close the gap to the Mercedes and begin the battle for first place. As the rear bumper starts to sway off and I go in for a dive, I don't have what I need, and during the battle, Graham is able to take advantage of the conflict and make a double pass, securing first place, sending me to the back of the pack and securing Mercury second.
Mine, I guess.
Mercury and Graham begin the battle for first place as we finish lap 3, begin lap 4. Heading into the first set of chicanes, Mercury goes largely off to the left side and then veers right. I take advantage with all the grip I have in the McLaren to pull up alongside the right, cut across the apex, and fly down the straightaway. The Mercedes, having all the top end power it needs, quickly closes the gap as I had a 7/10 split going all the way down to a 1/10 by the time I was able to split by, cresting into 7th gear at 200 miles an hour. Fast forwarding now, coming down the back straight, still in 3rd place, chasing Mercury with about a 1.5 second time deficit. Once again, he flies through the corner into the sand, giving me every opportunity I need to take the pass as we lead into the last stretch of the final lap on Le Mans. Graham is about 2.5 seconds ahead, so I know all I have to do is keep ahead of Mercury and I can at least hold 2nd place, but I know on this straightaway he has the power he needs to be able to catch up. My goal here is to fly into the next corner with as much momentum as possible and get the gap I need in the corner set using all the grip available in the active aero on the P1. I take this corner with a bit too early braking and I don't get the gap I need, but I am able to get a very solid exit, accelerating out into the next corner set and getting a good exit once again to give me the gap I need and hold 2nd place for the remainder of the race.
It was, yeah. Pretty even grouping, I suppose.
Yeah, I feel like Zach, if you had turned down your downforce, it would have been a lot closer.
Yeah, if I was on soft from the beginning, I feel like I would have.
That too, yeah.
I have top speed. I guarantee
Factor
it,
as well. Oh yeah.
I messed up on that
Yeah, the speed
just before the straightaway, dude. When I went off into the dirt, if I didn't do that, I'd say I probably would have got P2.
Yeah.
Whatever. Try for error.
It's those moments, yeah.
Switching up tracks once again, we head over to Hockenheimring and decide to do another challenge where we pick the same stock car and race it for winner take all. So we go ahead and set up the full track at Hockenheimring and choose the Lotus Emira as the car for us all to compete in. The new Lotus Emira should provide a pretty even playing field for everyone. It's got plenty of power to get down the track with a 1.8 liter turbo, mid-engine, rear-mounted, rear-wheel drive, manual, balanced performance chassis.
they should mainly promote night racing in the summer because it's just so much cooler.
Yeah. Starting off this race with a hard launch in the Lotus Emira, doing everything I can to chase Graham right off the line and keep a good gap as we enter the first corner in the first lap at Hockenheimring.
Is this a newer map?
Yeah, it was added.
Yes, from older Forzas. I see
I
an
don't
opportunity
remember
for a
ever
pass on
playing
the
this
outside, but I don't have the grip I need, and I have to let off.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Graham is
Yeah, I
able
mean,
to
it was
shuffle
in,
through the apex and go right in front again.
Motorsport 7.
I only Motorsport I got the race for.
Oh. Way to peak.
That's just because my brother owned it, and I would always race.
Sorry,
Random
sorry.
rental cars.
You're good.
I keep forgetting that this car is very forgiving. I'm just like afraid to hammer it. I'm so used to
Oh
being
man, I'm wide.
Oh, I locked up and I'm off track. Great. What's the map that they did in Gran Turismo in the qualifying? I'm trying to remember what it was. It's in this game and I don't remember the name of it.
I'm using all the momentum I have to take the inside apex and set up for this left-hand corner as Graham dives way too deep on the braking zone and shoots into the runoff. I'm able to get away with a 1 second gap due to his runoff. Mercury's still behind at about a 6.8 or 6.7 gap, just depending on where we're at. Entering the corner, I cut a little too early and it sends me off wide.
I mean, you use 250
Oh
for a
my
whole
god,
setup.
are you kidding me?
Yep, same.
Oh, you too?
Wow.
How bad?
Nah, I recovered. That's like my first mistake all night.
I keep downshifting too early and it just throws my car into the oversteer.
Yeah, oversteer frenzy.
That was my best lap though, even though I had some little screw ups. I feel like I'm not maximizing my potential here.
I've been holding first without issue, but coming into this next corner, I probably should have gone up a gear. I float a little bit too much to the right. Oh my god, are you kidding me? And keeping my foot down on the gas to steer out of it, I end up doing a full 360 and lose the entire gap I had against Graham, giving him at least a half-second advantage against me.
Oh my god. It's got great handling, but I feel like it is just a tad understeered. It's a fun car though, especially if you're being going stock. Sort of like a thing.
Coming down the straightaway on lap 4 out of 6, I'm doing everything I can to use every inch of the track. Leading into the braking zone, I start to cut off to the left and then take the middle line, and just a little too late, I lock up the fronts down into first gear, resulting in a massive mistake that will ultimately cost me first place.
This car is crazy forgiving.
Shit, I forgot to pit.
Oh, me too.
I guess we'll pick this lap. That didn't fit either.
Let's have a last lap shootout. Winner takes all.
Can't you do like a event setup and just have a bunch of races already lined up?
Queued up? I don't know, maybe, probably.
I'm pretty sure you can, but
I think you used to be able to do that in older places.
I don't think you're going to be able to switch up cars though, so it would have to be a bunch of reasonably sized tracks. Depending on like the eye moving to. I can't even hear myself over this car.
Lap 5 out of 6, Graham is holding first place steady, but once again, he brakes way too late, overshooting the braking zone and giving me everything I need to use the momentum through the chicane and close the gap. The only issue being is once these cars top out on momentum, there's really not much left in them to give, so it's really down to just the final set of corners leading into the next lap to set up the end of the race.
Yeah, I'm sure that this car does not sound like this in real life.
Yeah,
Only recently has the sounds in the Forza franchise been shite. I mean, the last two installments, Motorsport 5 and, or I'm sorry, Horizon 5 and now this, car sounds are a total downgrade from
I don't have my
the
phone
previous
charger on
respective
me.
installments.
My phone's on 19, I'll be fine. Screw it. I'm gonna try first person dash cam. This will either go pretty well or pretty not well. Why did my car immediately go off track? This is...
All right.
What are we doing?
After the first corner.
Yep.
Oh man, you got a massive jump, Green. I'm trying to catch you.
All right, don't outbrake yourself here. Don't dive on now. Don't get smart.
God damn it.
That second gear is so much taller than it needs to be.
Yeah. I kept thinking that too. Like, it just loses all our RPMs in one
Yeah, exactly.
This turn always gets me. I think every lap I've gone through here, I've gone off track.
Total time penalty is about 1.5
Are you
seconds.
kidding me?
Probably gotta get a penalty. I got a warning. Wow. Okay. I cut significantly more than you have. I don't think you gained any time on that. All I got was a warning.
Sorry. Oh my god. No, 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 no. Dude. Oh my god. So shit. Unbelievable.
What was the positions? I was in P3.
Zach, take it first.
Just drag race to the end, boys.
It's right here. Just go, brother.
Just do it
You
on
got a
this
1
line.
second time penalty. You got that. Go, go, go.
Oh, that was painful.
I'm
Good
sorry,
race.
I did not mean to do that.
It's okay. I went for the outside pass at the last minute.
I was trying to be respectful. I just nicked your right rear and it just sent you spinning.
All good. Well, I think I'm gonna
Yeah, GG's.
end the Twitch stream here, and I'll do GTA in about 30 minutes. So, good job, everybody. That's some good racing. God, that was tough. I'd say, I mean, I think my favorite race is probably the one with the Mustang and Supra, of course. If you've made it this far, thank you so much for watching. That means the world to us. We are streaming Motor Mondays every Monday from 7 to 9 p.m. and then GTA 5 races from 9 to 10 p.m. So that's Forza from 7 to 9 and then GTA 5 races from 9 to 10 p.m. We are going to be having streams throughout the week, but you will be able to find these highlight clips available after every video. This is just part one of our first stream as we had our debut stream recently. You can find us on twitch.com at speedgate_motorsports. We'll see you next Monday.